7 days ago, I DM'd Veno, one of the world's best Fortnite players, asking to 1v1 with the winner taking home $250. But in order to even stand a chance of getting a single elim, I studied the exact mechanics he uses so I could learn them and use them against him. The first thing I've noticed that he does is a very specific cone and floor edit when he doubles. So as you see, he's got the doubles here, and he does the first cone in a 2-tile, and then he always does a 3-tile where he stands behind it like this, where Savage is below here. Jumps, totally whiffs, but this is something I see him do quite a lot. In this same scenario where you're above and the opponent is below and you control both the cone and the floor, the most common thing to do is just to double edit and open in their face. However, this means they can then shoot you. So to counter this, most people double edit, place a wall to block the shot, then have to re-edit this again and then finally shoot them. But this is really slow. So the edit that Veno does that allows him to stand on the tile gives him much less chance of being hit and still gives him a good chance of hitting a shot as well. Now, the second thing I found him do a lot was actually just 180s. Let me see exactly how he does it. So he jumps, connects a wall, floors, and then 180s, and does high walls at the same time. That might take a little bit of practice, I'm not gonna lie. 180 is just a very basic movement mechanic that allows you to elevate faster. However, these high walls stop an opponent from being able to do a sprinting right-hand jump on this side and allows Veno to piece through these. He actually does a combination of both of these here. There's the 90, there's the 180, sorry. And then there's the double floor. And then it gets absolutely put in the blender. There's also another side jump that I see him do here. I think he's now fighting Nebs in this 1v1. And he ends up sprint jumping and just going to the side and then landing on a floor and a cone. Super, super simple, but this is another one of those little mechanics that I see him do a lot when he combines it with a lot of the other stuff. I think here's an example of him at full speed. Yep, doing the exact same thing, but putting like doubles on top. Now, this is quite a common side jump, but I don't have this muscle memory built up as I usually end up doing this from a slightly different angle. So it's something I'm going to have to relearn. The reason this one's so good is because it elevates you 2 layers at once, and it's also really easy to chain this with a bunch of other mechanics after that side jump, which allows you to then continue to build higher. So it's incredibly good for retaking height. And the other one, which is kind of similar to the 180, is this connection he does here, where he jumps, connects walls, ramps, and then ramps over the top as well. This is the way that as you're building up vertically, you can actually change directions and stay pretty much completely protected at the same time. So I have my 4 things that I need to practice. Easiest way to learn anything is to do things in slow motion first. The doubles should be easy. Since I was clearly capable of doing all of these already, I created a very simple training program where I just did 100 of each of these and then went and tried to implement them and actually try and practice these in 1v1s. All right, day 1. I'm already quite happy with the floor edits. Yes! It was a bit rubbish, but we did it. Okay, cool, cool. That's sick. That's really good, actually. I was going to say I've not died using them, but that's actually absolutely not true. No, that was the perfect time for it. But they are definitely like a better way to double just generally. Easy to implement. He's not playing and I missed. 180s, I seem to really be struggling to put those in. The side jumps, I already kind of had in my muscle memory, so that one's kind of getting relatively good as well. Nice. Woo. Side jump. Oh, I'm just moving now. I'm just moving now. Get pieced. But the sway retake, I'm very, very slow at. So that's something I'm going to put extra practice in going forward along with the 180s. What am I doing? First day, relatively happy with this. Day 2, after this practice, not going to lie, I feel like I'm moving. I'm hitting bangs. I'm getting a couple good kills with the edit strats. Oh, nice. Overall, feeling pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. Bro, hurry up, bro. You are ass.
GG, bro. You are very good.
Okay, I called him ass. I feel bad now. All right, as much as 1v1 practice is useful. No! Well, that was so nice, and then I missed the second pump. I'm going to jump into some reload games to see if I can actually apply these principles in something that's a bit more realistic. There's a couple times where I was able to actually use some of those mechanics in game, which were super sick. It worked. Let's go. But obviously, I'm not fighting like Veno quite yet. All right, so we're on to day number 3. I couldn't really apply a lot of those mechanics in game all that well because, quite frankly, they are just free building mechanics you don't really do when you're actually fighting someone in a tournament. But of course, they are useful in build fights, and I'm going to be build fighting Veno. So today, I'm going to jump into replays and learn one single thing that he actually does in his fights in tournaments that I can apply into my own gameplay and then practice it as well. So the one thing I saw him repeatedly do was this bottom right 3-tile edit. Now, if you've watched my video titled Fortnite's Most Overrated Edit, you'll know I put this up in the max piece tier. Now, that's because you get a really good right-hand peek through this, and unlike the peanut butter edit, you don't have to jump in order to hit a shot. As long as you do this when the other player is somewhat on the left of their box, you're pretty much guaranteed to have the advantage. And despite me hyping this edit up, it's not something I actually do all that often, so it's time to try and implement that. I also just realized I should probably try his sensitivity for this video as well. That would probably make a lot of sense. What I did here was look online and see that it was 6%, but I really should have just asked Veno because he said it's actually 4.5% that he plays. However, he told me that at the end of this video, so I ended up using 6% for the entire thing. All right, mechs are feeling good on the warm-up. Just beat a guy 8-0. Obviously, it's just random and fill in reasons 1v1, but feeling good. Got a couple clips. The bottom right edit is super, super nice. Oh, nice. Okay, a little bottom righty. Nice. Same thing there. See, imagine he'd done a bottom right there. If he'd done a bottom right there, I wouldn't have hit him. So I think it's now a good time to jump into reload and try this edit out. Oh, I'm just better. All right, so I wasn't really able to implement the bottom right edit all that well. I just didn't really get the opportunity. You basically have to wait until the other player is on the far left and you're on the same wall. So if you're approaching diagonally, for example, you don't really get a good opportunity to do it. Boom, let's go, nice. What I will say is my aim felt so much better today. Whether it was ADS aim, just from playing on a bit of a lower sensitivity than I'm used to personally, or the pump aim, I was hitting either 0 or nothing but max damage shots. Oh my god, we both suck. How have I won that? Max? Dead? Woo, nice. The max pumps are coming out. No. Oh shit, hold on. Nope. Oh my god, there's nothing but maxes. But I will say the mechanics feel a little off. Either I'm completely moving and feeling super consistent. Oh my god, I'm moving. Ooh. Or I'm just moving like a literal NPC because I have to move my arm so much. Oh my god, I didn't switch to my shotgun. All right, we're on to day 4. I don't feel like I have any of these really in my muscle memory. Outside of the double edit, I think that one I've got down pretty well. Ah, okay. That's the counter I'd never thought I'd see. So today I have one single goal, and that is to get a kill with every single one of the 4 original mechanics that I practiced and that bottom right edit. And I'm not going off until I get it. I've done it. Okay, bottom right. Oh, we're cooking with it. We're cooking with it. Okay, that was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. No, so close. I'm counting that. I'm counting that as a side jump. But we got a kill with every single mechanic. Oh my days. Editing Reese here. In this clip, I actually thought I did both the sway retake and the 180. Turns out I didn't do the sway retake at all. So I failed my entire task on this day, despite what I'm about to say. I take that. We take that. I did that in the fight.
My favorite minute right now.
With my task definitely complete, the one thing I noticed is that all of my mechanics are really starting to feel good. Like, not even just the ones that I'm practicing here, just everything generally. Oh, okay, let's go. I'm really starting to finally be able to chain these all together. Whatever the mechanic is, like if I'm doing triple edits, I can then do it into some of the kind of sway retake. I might be a booger. Or just any of my other movements. So already in day 4, seeing a very noticeable improvement. Oh, baited, bait. Oh, that was nice. Okay. Exit piece. I feel that's something Veno would do. I think Veno would do that. All right, day number 5. I feel like I've pretty much learned all of these mechanics by now, and they're starting to become part of my muscle memory. Outside of the sway retake, I can do it when I'm thinking about it, but it's not really part of my fighting yet. So today, the main focus is that, and also 1v1s. Doing as many 1v1 build fights as possible, because Veno said to get to the skill level he did, he played 800 build fights a day. So today, I'm going to do 800 fights. So I've been doing 1v1s for 2 hours now. Toes. And I'm at 199. You know, people like this are really slowing down my day. Everyone is AFK in this map. Oh, he's moving. We found life on Mars. These are industry plants. Luckily, the fights I did have were actually against good players, so they were good practice. And although it can be frustrating a lot of times to lose a lot of fights. Oh, I pieced him, but I missed. At least you're learning from your mistakes, and it's nothing you should be embarrassed about.
Is this actual resub?
Oh, no, he recognizes me and he's cooking me, bro. No, bro. The resub real resub wouldn't lose this bad, trust.
Han har så här boomer mechanics.
Bro.
Så du vet när man expectar dem då.
He's not speaking English, but I can translate boomer mechanics. So after a lot of deaths, I can't hit a bullet! And a couple nice clips. Boxed. Oh! I decided to call it there when the score was still relatively even. I did find the tweet though, and it's actually 600. 600, not 800. And I'm at 191 after 2 hours. Now I literally don't have enough time left in the day for that, unfortunately. So I basically came back a little bit later, did a few 1v1s, and just called it a day. Boxed. Because honestly, after around 200, I was just playing worse and worse and worse, and I don't think it was actually benefiting me at all. Oh! All right, day 6. I definitely feel like I've actually gotten all of those new mechanics into my muscle memory, but like I said yesterday, when I go fast, I usually just go back to all my old stuff. So the goal today is to play slower and to think about what I'm actually doing. Hit it. I didn't know you were gonna do that, bro. Like, I'm clairvoyant! Ooh, that was nice. Okay. You know, the more I do this mechanic here, the more useful I find it, because you can do things like this where you say if you go to a side jump, like this side jump, and then just instantly do this again. And this is basically the best fighting tip I can ever give anyone. If you're making a ton of mistakes over and over again and you just keep falling into the same traps, all you need to start doing is looking at your opponent, keeping your eyes on them and your crosshair on them at all times. Where's he gone? And naturally, you're just going to be able to read what they're doing and counter it. Ooh! I also realized when I get a nice kill, I either sound like an owl. Ooh, nice. Ooh, or the Doppler effect. Ooh. But I must say, the goal of day 6, playing slower, definitely helped me out a ton. I won way more 1v1s today, and honestly, my mechanics just felt much better, and I felt like I was making way less mistakes. We're on to day number 7, and it's a big day.
Bro, you play so cringe.
Killed me by spraying me half of his kills, literally. And I'm the cringe one. I'm also not 8. I'm a beefing with an 8-year-old, bro. Not because I'm 1v1ing Veno. That's actually tomorrow. Hey. Enough of that. Boxed. Thanks.
What the f***? You're Superman.
But it's solo cash cup day. So it's time to see if all of these mechanics and this little bit of practice is actually helping me or not. All right, Veno, the rules are simple. If you can 10-0 me, you win $250. However, if I kill you once using one of your own mechanics, then I win. Let's rock and roll. Oh, okay. Maxed off the rip.
I don't think the techniques are going to help too much. Oh.
Max. No! Oh. No, I missed that wall.
Nice.
No. Hey. No, so close to the side jumps. The aim here is not looking crisp.
You know, bailout, but you can't hit it. Like,
I see.
Kind of. And like...
The bailout pump! Let's go! Now, as much as I'd love to say that I won this because of this, clearly I didn't kill him using one of the mechanics. So we continue. Oh. Am I? What is?
I'm actually a bum. Oh,
who would have thought that the one mechanic to do it would be the bottom right edit? Even though I didn't actually like sit behind it or anything, I just ran out. But still, we're claiming it. We're taking it. I think all of these mechanics are absolutely worth learning. But Veno even said himself, all of these he basically doesn't actually use in game and pretty much only uses them in build fights and in zone wars, outside of the bottom right edit, of course.
Alright, let's finish this off with a...
of course. Big shout out to Veno for joining me on this. And if you want to see an analysis of the best tournament he's ever played, where he won 6 out of 12 games in an FNCS Grand Finals with Queasy, you can click this video on screen right now.